Halt, alien scum! Don't you threaten me! What, Agent S?
Agent J, what are you doing?
I'm shooting the hostile alien.
Do you remember step 1?
Yeah, shoot the hostile alien.
Step 1, check to see if the alien is hostile.
Oh, I always get step 1 and 2 confused.
That was the ambassador of Britain.
Oh yeah, I thought I recognized him. We met him at the Christmas party last year, right?
Yes.
Oops.
This episode is sponsored by txcitizen.com, local New Braunfels news that's exclusively online and completely free. Also sponsored by the Texas Gamers Lounge, now with 2 locations in San Marcos and Austin. Both locations feature all-you-can-play pinball, arcades, modern and retro consoles for only $9.99. Hello and welcome to another episode of Pop Culture Geekery. I'm Joe Solis, and this is my co-host Sarah Childs, my lovely wife. And tonight we're going to go over the new movie Men in Black International. So we just saw this weekend, and we wanted to get a review out for you guys. We know the summer movies are kind of coming one right after another, so we're trying our best to keep up with them. So I just wanted to go over, a little bit about what Men in Black is, because it's actually kind of funny. This in the movies, this movie franchise is just in its 22nd year now, so that's pretty crazy. But they only have 4 films under their belt. So did you watch the original 3? I know this is always a fun question to see what Sarah remembers.
So the correct answer is I was 9 when the first movie came out. So I do not remember if I watched it or not. However, I do remember my father taking me to, it was to be in Universal Studios.
Okay.
And doing the
ride.
ride, where you shoot the aliens. So I knew what that was, but I don't know if I saw the movie before it or not. I just can't remember.
Yeah.
I need to rewatch it.
I offered, but
I was preoccupied.
Yeah.
I was preoccupied with other things.
But yeah, the Men in Black franchise, as it's itself, is spread out across a long period of time. It's actually based on a comic with the same name. But the original Men in Black came out in 1997, starred Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones. Almost forgot that. But they waited a good 5 years before they did part 2 in 2002, which I remember. I loved part 1. Part 2 was just and apparently everybody else felt the same, because it took them a full 10 years to do part 3, and that was kind of the rounding out of that little trilogy, because all 3 of them starred, Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones. But then we waited another 7 years before they decided to do anything else with the franchise. But thank goodness they did not reboot it. That's all I got to say. Because to me, it just didn't need it. I mean, it got all new characters and everything, but if you're paying attention in the trailers, there is one confirmation in the trailer, and in the movie too, you'll see that it's not a reboot. So, and it's a very small thing, but you'll see. Anyway, so we have the focus this time is on Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson, who you've all seen lately in Thor Ragnarok and also Avengers Endgame. So these actors have had, a lot of experience together, and you can definitely tell in this movie, because I don't know about you, but I just feel like every time I've seen Chris Hemsworth in a movie lately, he just seems like he's having a blast.
Yeah, he does always look like he's having fun. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he definitely, has fun with this movie, and you can tell that him and Tessa Thompson, they work well off of each other. and I mean they're pretty much the best part of the movie. Men in Black for me has always just been one of those. It's just a fun summer movie. You just gotta kind of turn off your brain. It still didn't help part 2 for me, but but it's just one of those. It's very flashy, very much, about the spectacle. And this movie definitely does a lot of the same. I will say this: Men in Black, the original, has one of my favorite quotes of all time. It's when Tommy Lee Jones is telling Will Smith, explaining the whole idea of Men in Black and why they exist to protect the earth. And, Will Smith is like, why don't you just, come out and tell people about you guys? And he's like, I think people can handle it. And Tommy Lee Jones is like, no, he's like, a person is smart, but people are dumb, panicky, dangerous animals, and you know it. And I have used that quote so many times in life, and especially as we go forward in time, unfortunately, it becomes more and more relevant. So, but yeah, other than that nugget of truth that they squeeze into the first one, there's not really anything, life changing about these movies. So, I just expected a fun movie. What did you go in expecting for this one?
I expected a whole lot of nothing because I didn't have a lot of background information. I mean, I knew that it had something to do with aliens. That's what Men in Black and aliens. I knew they were black. There were sunglasses involved somehow. That was basically my basis of knowledge. And I was thoroughly impressed with the connection to my knowledge that the movie made.
And see, this is why Sarah is a great sampling of the general population, I think, when it comes to just movies in general, and why I love having her point of view of this, because, yeah, it is hard. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm a fan of Men in Black. I mean, I like it, and it definitely has its own universe. I mean, they had a cartoon come out in the middle of all the movies before. So it's got its own mythology, but it's not something it's that deep, like I said, other than that quote that I got out of the first one. So this one, it's one of those. It's not so much about. I mean, we're not going to spoil anything, but even if we did, there's not too much to spoil that you probably couldn't figure out. Like, I would just say I saw the twist of the end coming a mile away. I don't know how. We're not going to tell you what it is, but from almost the beginning, I just knew. I just knew. So, what about you? I played with it as one of the possible ways that the movie could go, because I would say, I mean, I had some thought. I wouldn't say it was like a brain dead movie. Like, I'm just, I would say there was some thought involved as a viewer, especially with me, the way I watch movies. It also depends how you watch movies, because I'm like analyzing as I watch and thinking, well, this could happen, or this could happen, or this could happen. So it took one of the possible pathways I thought of. Yeah, you said something about the tech.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about Pawnee either.
Oh, I was going to bring him up later, but
okay. The tech. Yeah, I just wanted to mention the tech. Of course, this is my first real Men in Black experience. So I thought all of the techie stuff was really cool. Like, they show in the trailer, like, them taking all the guns out of the car and stuff. That's really awesome. When they, like, plunge down in the backseat of the car all of a sudden, I thought just the whole atmosphere, like the scenery they created there, that it made you feel like whenever they went into the Men in Black part of the world, it made you feel like the intelligence of the surrounding just went up. Like, oh, smarter people are here. See, we can make these cool things. And then go back to regular world is like, oh, there's no cool things except when they're hidden. And then, oh, there's a hidden smart person here.
Yeah, and I will say that was pretty consistent. Like, the designs of their weapons, the designs of MIB headquarters. There was some alien cameos, aliens that appeared in the first couple of movies. So they did a good job of continuity, and so that's one, of the highest praise I can give is just in a world full of reboots. Just thank you, Sony, for not rebooting this one. So.
Right. Well, nobody could follow the first one. I mean, even I knew that the first one was famous mainly because Will Smith was in it. Sorry, went blank. Because Will Smith was in it, I knew all about that, and I know nobody would want to follow a performance by Will Smith. So it's one good reason not to reboot right there.
Well, hey, maybe that's why it took him so long in between the other movies, because they kept trying to replace him, and then he did finally convince him to come back. It's possible. I don't know. It's been so long since I've heard all the debates about it, but I mean, the original trilogy is on my Amazon wish list. It's one of those, for $10, I wouldn't mind owning it. Like you said, pop them in the background.
Yeah. Hint, hint, wife. Hint, hint. Still on my Amazon list. Hint, hint.
That's okay. You can wait till they add this one too.
Oh yeah. Now the $10 trilogy just went up, and now it's $40 or $50 for the whole collection, special limited edition.
No, see, I wouldn't do that for this movie series. So, but yeah, there's really not that much to say. It really is just meant to be a fun summer movie. You wanted to talk about Pawnee.
Pawnee.
Yeah, you get to see him briefly in the trailer. Yeah. He was actually cool. Like he's the little pawn guy, the little reptilian looking guy.
His hat looks like a little pawn hat.
Yeah.
That's how you can identify. He's tiny.
Yeah,
he stands on her shoulder.
Yeah.
That's what, in the trailer, he's on her shoulder. So.
Yeah, she's like her Pokemon. So, but he's like the cute little sidekick, which surprisingly he wasn't annoying. So that was my main thing. I was just, glad that he was actually well written. I don't know the actor who plays him. I looked him up after the fact, but he did a really good job, especially zinging one-liners at Chris Hemsworth. So kudos to them for making a cute little character that wasn't annoying. So,
it's her familiar.
Yeah,
there you go. There's another word for it.
Yeah, and he has some relevant things happen with him.
Yes,
so.
He is relevant. We won't tell you how, but he is. Yeah. Which really surprised me how relevant he actually ended up being.
Yeah. But anything else you want to say about the movie before we give our ratings?
Nothing's coming to mind.
Mm-hmm. So it's one of those, I struggle because it's like how harsh do I want to be on a summer movie that I know is not meant to make me think. So if this was not a summer movie, it would probably be an easy 6 for me, but I'll go ahead and give it a 7 because I did enjoy it. It's just a fun summer movie. Just go have your popcorn, your Coke, go enjoy it, exactly. And then just move on to the next movie after that. So what about you?
I forgot one important detail. Mm-hmm. It is not Fat Thor, so don't worry, ladies. Fat Thor does not come out in this one. Just letting you know, you won't be sorely disappointed.
But one thing that's not a spoiler is, of course, they have to have at least one scene with a shirtless Chris Hemsworth. So I think that's in his contracts. So.
I mean, it can be assumed pretty much.
Yeah.
We're just going to make people happy by saying that anyway.
Yeah,
at least the females.
Yeah. Anyway.
For my rating, I feel like it's a good, solid, happy movie for even someone not informed like me. So I'm going to say an 80%. Joe's nodding because he's like, yeah, I figured you'd do that, Sarah. Yeah, because honestly, like, if I'm happy, then I'm like, yeah, an 80, I'm happy. If I'm like, it's okay, then maybe I'll do a 70, 75. But
I'm pretty sure that Chris Hemsworth scene made her score go up too.
Whatever.
But anyway, so yeah, definitely go check it out, guys, especially before some of the other movies keep coming down the pipe. We've got some more coming, one right after another. So just want to say real quick, thank you to those of you who subscribed real quick, if I can talk. If you can subscribe and say the word subscription, please subscribe. No, I can't, apparently. It's late at night. But one of the important factors of YouTube, besides getting subscribers, is how many minutes of view time your videos get. So, since we're still a relatively new channel, we thought that we'd have to get a little bit creative with this, because we have been getting some good view time. But I figure that, it never hurts to get a little bit more view time. So in the spirit of Men in Black, we're gonna, just do a little quick memory erase for all of you, and that way you'll forget you watched this video, and then you can go back and watch it again. So we'll see you again shortly. Just watch right here. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Pop Culture Geekery. I'm Joe Solis, and this is my co-host Sarah Childs, my lovely wife. And tonight we're going to go over the new movie Men in Black International.